Hey, hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. I just wanted to pop in and say hello. I know I missed last week. I kind of missed a lot of things this week, so you might have to catch me up on a lot that's been going on. I've been working on a new video and I think really just staying off of social media because there's a lot going on. Yes, back in business. No, don't get worried. I'm here. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I do have a lot going on, so I'm just gonna say keep me in your prayers. But I'm here, and I'll let y'all know if I have to go away for for any long period of time. But I just had to get my mind right. I wasn't right last week. Um, Kind of still a little off this week too, but I didn't want to take too much time off. But I said back in business. Yes, yes. I've actually been working hard. Um, just writing, like I said, trying to get this new video ready. So hopefully I'll have that ready for you guys tomorrow. But I just wanted to pop in and say hello. You said, how did I get here early? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I hope you guys are doing well. Um, this is probably a random show. I'll be honest, I don't really have anything put together because I've just been a little off. But has anybody seen the Him movie yet? That's kind of heavy. That's kind of heavy on my mind right now. I've been looking at the trailers and this looks like it's going to be a sick movie. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like I want to watch it because I want to see how far they're going to go and what they're going to Yeah, exactly. He said no. Thomas said nope and you said I want to see it. Yeah, just so I can see what it is that they're going to show and say because I've actually been watching quite yeah, absolutely. Report back because I'm not even gonna get, usually I'm like, no spoilers, but I actually think I'm gonna watch it myself. I might have to fast forward some parts just because I get a little, icky about stuff like that. But man, I've been watching certain interviews and stuff. I didn't know who this guy, Tyreek Withers, was. I know they said that he was in I Know What You Did Last Summer. I've seen that movie, but I don't remember who he is in that. And Atlanta, to be honest, I never watched that, but I, I think he messed up. I think he I think he messed up by being in this movie. And one of the clips that I saw him saying was he was on the football field and he was saying they made me film he said they made me film one of the scariest parts of the movie during an eclipse. And he was calling out asking if anybody knew where his Bible was. He was like, hey, I don't know if his grandma was there with him, but he was asking like, hey, where's my Bible? I think he messed up. He said he was, yeah, remember when I reported back? Yes, absolutely. So absolutely do the same thing. He was small in Atlanta. I think he's fresh blood and doesn't realize what's about to occur. I don't think so either. And I actually just came across this one interview I don't know how long ago it was, but they literally look, they literally have Baphomet in the background. And at one point, because you know how I don't know if you guys have little previews play on YouTube before you actually click on the video. And at one part, the devil horns was directly behind Marlon Wayans' head. That's what kind of made me click on this interview. And I was like, okay, what are they in here talking about? But another part of it, so not only do they have the Baphomet right there, but they also have in the background, like the whole room is demonic. The whole room is demonic. They've got it. They got the devil in the background too. And these people, and then a red carpet. You know how, I don't know if you've ever listened to a lot of warlocks and stuff like that talk, but they always talk about this red room and this red carpet. How even when they go to the city under the water, how when they walk to meet Lucifer, it's on a red carpet. And I think even the red carpet, Hollywood red carpet has some demonic or occultic ties as well, but I can't really remember off the top of my head what they claim that it means. But this whole room is just out of order. And these people are just sitting in here and they're just talking and he messed up. If he's a child of God, I don't know what possessed him to get into this movie. And I think even he said that during the scene where they're filming during the eclipse, he's all covered in blood. Well, I don't know if it's real, but I doubt it's real blood, but just the image of it. And so I don't know. I think he messed up. He said, "Yep," and he posted that online. Big no. The demons don't like that. So I don't know. He said Marlon Wayans, yeah. What's sad is Marlon Wayans knows what it's about, so the movie is actually reflecting what's about to occur in real life with this new actor. Yeah, and some reason, Marlon, again, I know we've kind of talked about him and kind of where he's been going in his career. I guess I never imagined it taking a dark turn. And even I was watching Black Balloon's channel, and he was showing Marlon's new stream with Kai Cenat. And literally in the stream, he tells one of Kai's friends, like, "You're not going to be here in 2 years. Like, y'all," he told everybody in the room, "You need to hang with this dude as much as possible because he ain't going to be here." And everybody's looking like, I mean, they're all laughing, of course, because for whatever reason, they think this mess is funny. But how you going to tell a man that he ain't going to be here, you know, in a couple years? And he almost was talking as this. So I don't know. You said nothing new. I know. I never understood the appeal of the red carpet. There's something with it. I have to look it up, but there's something with that red carpet. Let me see if I can try to find some information on it. Because they don't do things for no reason. They definitely don't. Said red carpets are uncommon. No. Marlon sacrificed this young actor to gain more in Hollywood. This is meta irony. Yeah. I mean, because you can kind of see besides Damon, everybody else, all his other brothers have kind of just sat down. And I think at one point he claimed that Sean doesn't even like him. And he didn't say why, but Sean Wayans don't even like Marlon. And maybe it's because they saw him kind of going down this road and didn't want to get involved. But everybody else has kind of sat down. And Marlon's still the one trying to get up and go. Marlon sacrificed his trans daughter. He told Punga, Kai's friend, okay, that is probably because he knows Kai is going to have to sacrifice somebody. Ugh, that's some scary mess. And then to point out who it is or who you think it is, heck no. Like, you wouldn't see me, man. I wouldn't be around these people anymore. Just kind of seeing where Kai's going. I mean, I never follow him at all, but just to see where he's going and knowing how Hollywood goes, I wouldn't even be around him anymore. Especially after he pointed me out on the stream and said I was going to be the next sacrifice. You got me bent. But again, everybody in the room, they just laugh like it's funny, and I don't see what's funny about that. And I really wanted to get into who, like, Jordan Peele. I know he's not the writer, but he's the producer of this movie. And he just seemed like he's also somebody who's just really off. I know he was really funny, But now it seemed like his dark side is really starting to show itself. I really kind of want to know what he believes and his background, because ain't no way. Ain't no way. Mm. I mean, it doesn't really say too much about him. Maybe he'll start talking soon enough and we'll find out who he is. Punga was in Kai's video at the very beginning. I think Punga is literally one of Kai's closest friends from the very beginning. And that's what's crazy, because those are the ones that have to watch out the most, because it's not, from what I've read, they're not asking you just to, sacrifice your neighbor Billy down the street. No, it's somebody, it has to be somebody close to you. So I wouldn't, it's got to be, like you said, a close friend, a cousin, a mama, you know, it can't just be any old body. And I don't even remember his head being, I'm just thinking about things. His shirt was a little off. I don't know what his shirt was saying, but it looked kind of like some demonic stuff, but I'm not, that's alleged because I didn't get a close up of it. But the man's head wasn't even showing in the video. It was cut off from the shoulders up. And it could have just been my phone, but I just didn't feel right about it. He said Jordan Peele seems to have changed his whole personality after Key and Peele. Exactly. I'm like, this guy was funny, and now he's doing nothing but horror films. And the crazy thing about it is, these people, especially with these roles that they have never played before, they go into a type of method acting. And so they, even in this interview, they were asking Marlon where he got his inspiration from. Now he didn't outright say that he channeled anybody or anything like that, but that's what these people do. I mean, even Denzel Washington has admitted to channeling spirits in order to do his roles. He was bright and bubbly, and now it's the complete opposite. And see, I'm wondering if it's because of the things that he's seen in the industry, like he doesn't think everything is bright and bubbly anymore. Or see, I always wonder, is this stuff hidden? Are these people always like that? And maybe the first version that we saw is the fake version, and then they come out as themselves, or if they turn that way. I don't know, but I think this brother has messed up. Like, you calling for your Bible now? No. When you read that script, you should have been like, no. No, no, no. But I guess we gotta sit back and watch and see what happens. I really want to see how to do a watch party, to be honest. But that might be too much. My computer's a little slow. But anyways, what else has been new? What else has been new? I see that Korea finally kicked off their digital ID. So it seems as though they might be the ones to usher in. It's just so much Mark of the Beast stuff coming all at once right now. It's a little hard to catch up. It says South Korea has completed the rollout of the digital ID. All citizens and foreign residents are now able to add a digital version of their South Korean resident registration card to their smartphone, enabling the replacement of the physical ID card. They've been launching this, and now they have completed it nationwide, with its final stages being available in Seoul Busan, and Kawaju. And poor thing, Roseanne, I heard her talking. She's like, "Yeah, we're gonna come into a period of time where all the evil is, subsided." Boo, no, it's not. They might again, we might get that 4 years or however 3.5 years of the peace. I mean, yeah, but then that covenant has to be broken, and the Antichrist is gonna step on the scene. Well, you said what? There's a time lapse of Billie Eilish. Every year she was in the industry, and you can see her hair shorter, and she become darker in her eyes spiritually. I mean, what she wasn't. I mean, I don't. I think I know one song of hers that I liked. Um, so I don't really know her like that. But wasn't she like professing the devil? I thought she was one that just outright was like, no, I worship Satan. I could be wrong about that. But we're definitely seeing the shift. We're definitely seeing the shift. And I think the catalyst of it is going to be um well, part of the catalyst is going to be the censorship that's going on. I even see that people are being censored off of Patreon. I didn't even know that. But people are even getting they're shutting down so many Patreon accounts due to censorship. So once they're able to shut us up, to where we can't speak out, they're going to be able to roll out whatever they want to roll out, because no one's going to have a voice to be able to turn anyone a different way. So I hate to say it, but it just seems like everything is speeding up. And I don't mean that to fear monger. I just mean it to we need to be paying attention. But I have to look at her because what's crazy is that you can see it in these people's eyes, like when their eyes get blackened and you can't even see light. And some of these people look so pale as if their blood is being drained from them. It, I don't know. Dang, you know what's crazy? I'm looking it up now. She used to be, I guess, a brunette, kind of a sandy blonde brunette. Yeah, this looks nothing like who's on the scene right now. I don't know. I don't really know. Billie Eilish yearly interview, Vanity Fair. Okay. I wish y'all, I'm gonna get a new computer. I'm gonna get a new one so that I could stream some of this stuff on the screen. I mean, she looks like a totally different person, honestly, from the videos that I just saw. I mean, from the pictures I just saw, she don't even look like the same person. This looks like a totally different person. Oh yeah, I mean, for sure. For sure. I'm like, this is not even mine. This was given to me when I lost my other one. But I don't know. Billie Eilish came in on some weird dark stuff, in my opinion, so it doesn't surprise me she's on the dark side now. I remember Justin being crying about her in an interview he did a few years ago. Yeah, he did. He was saying something about her, and I guess pretty much getting caught up in the industry. But here's the thing, like Justin, you saw what happened to you, so you're not going to warn your friends, or did you warn your friends and they just was like, nah, I'm going to get a piece of the pie as well? I mean, because I could see that happening. Because people don't want to listen. People do not want to listen. I'm watching so many. Do you know so many vaccine videos are coming out right now where they're finally admitting to all that's going on with these with these vaccines, and these people just dropping dead and all this other stuff, and people are still in the comments, well, it didn't happen to me, it didn't happen to my baby. I'm like, okay, yeah, well, good for you. Well, good for you. And I'm not wishing that upon you, but they said that the CV shot has killed more people than some of these wars. And they're coming in out and saying that on the Senate floor. And so at some point, you know, see, there's so many people that want to learn by experience. They want to be able to walk into the fire just to make sure that it's hot. They don't want you to tell them beforehand. And that, but then at the end of the day, when something happens, and they want to be like, well, why didn't you tell me? Or, all that that mess makes me so upset because you didn't want to listen at first. And now you're mangled. And there's nothing you can do. And I used to shrug my shoulders. I ain't gonna lie. I used to shrug my shoulders. I'm like, man, we told you. But I'm not shrugging my shoulders no more because it is an atrocity what's going on and the evilness that's being perpetuated and all the people that are being lost behind it. It's not a shrug of the shoulders. And they got it to where now, I don't know if y'all seen it. They're literally have certain vegetables that they have put, or that they are working to put the vaccines in. They said that lettuce, or I don't know if it's all lettuce, but the guy named that they can do it with lettuce, they can do it with tomatoes, to where just as we're ingesting this stuff, it gets into our body. And the problem ends up being that the spike proteins, which are the part of the vaccine that kills, is able to just float around every part of your body. And so it just shuts down organs left and right, just shutting down organs, kidneys, lungs, all of it. I saw a video where people just dropping dead on the basketball court, they dropping dead on the soccer court, they dropping dead speaking at the podium at conferences. I mean, just dropping like flies. She was a Disney princess at first. Now she looks like goth bar goer. Mm-mm. And that might have been what did it. All this Disney witchcraft. We got these kids out here down bad because ain't none of them right. It's the Adam and Eve syndrome. I need to experience it to know it's bad. Yeah, so many people, so many people. I mean, I don't know what to say. Mm, but Doesn't the Bible talk about how people aren't gonna listen to sound doctrine? They're only gonna listen to what tickles their ears. This is what's going on. Oh, you said, oh, okay, she looked like a Disney princess. Okay. I mean, she did. She looks like a wholesome girl. I mean, she really did. I'm not saying she don't. Again, I haven't really seen her, but yeah, now she's got the dark hair and. Mm-mm. And have y'all ever looked into the black-eyed children? You know how there was like that phenomenon where everybody was seeing the black-eyed children, and they were like, "Do not." They were warning people, like if they ever knock on your door, not to let them in. Like I guess I really never looked into it to see where they claimed that came from. Let me look. Let me look. Let's see. Black-eyed children or black-eyed kids are legendary paranormal creatures, okay, originating in modern American folklore, which superficially resemble human children or teenagers with pale skin and pitch black eyes. They are reportedly seen begging or hitchhiking or encountered on the doorsteps of residential homes. These beings are alleged to be either undead, ghostly, demonic, or alien, or otherwise inhuman creatures attempting to impersonate ordinary human children in order to manipulate people by requesting entry into houses or riding in vehicles with supposedly sinister motives. I wonder what they see. This is not giving me enough information. Because usually when they talk about these creatures, they'll at least tell you what they're the result of, like who their supposed parents are and all that kind of stuff. Because what I'm talking about is these people that we used to see that look like they had light in their eyes, but now they don't. But they're making it like these kids came like that. Said Disney and Nick are the devil's playground for children. Yep. And it's a wonder why people will continue to send their kids there. But again, a lot of people have their eyes closed. You know, I just saw a clip of this these kids. I guess their parents had taken them to Disneyland, and instead of the fairy godmother coming out, the fairy godman came out and had the kids bawling their eyes out. And a lot of people in the comments were like, "Yeah, that same man made my kids cry too," because they weren't expecting that. They were expecting a pretty lady with a nice princess dress on to come out, and then they had this man with a whole dress on come out. These kids know better. Like a lot of these kids, when they're not indoctrinated and stuff, they know better. They're not down with the foolishness, but they don't want to be, I guess, disrespectful to their parents. So they go along with it. But those kids, those little girls were not having it. They were not having it. But I guess we'll see where Disney is going right now. I see a lot of people had unsubscribed and stuff like that. I don't know if they're ever going to go down. I mean, they're too heavy in the witchcraft for that. But I don't know. It's just amazing. Hmm. But yep, they said do not let these kids in your home. Mm. Um, but sorry, I got off track with the digital ID. The elephant in the room. What is that? Nope. I feel like what's coming? The elephant in the room. The elephant in the room. um, I'm assuming we're talking about Charlie Kirk. His funeral's going on right now, if I'm not mistaken. I'll be honest, it's been really hard to even think about or talk about because I still can't wrap my mind around what the heck I saw and what the heck happened. Um, and I've been listening around to a lot of commentary and a lot of, people digging into what's going on, and I'll just give my honest take on it. From my understanding, like I said, for what I've seen and what I've read, is that he was waking up to to Israel, as many people are. There were many people that were on Israel's side, with this whole Israel and Palestine war that's going on. And he started to speak about it. And I talked about this on Patreon. I talked about it a little bit on Patreon. And they tried to invite him to a type of re re-education camp, like they always do. Like if you have, just like they do to Kanye all the time, just like they do to a lot of people, where if you are not speaking what the elites want you to speak, if you're not speaking the mainstream narrative, then they whisk you off to a re-education camp. And a lot of times, you're being placed under MK Ultra, and they'll do those type of techniques on you, or just you're just really under heavy threat. They're gang stalking you, and they're calling you at weird times, just making your life a living hell until you bow down. And again, I'm just going off of what I've heard and seen, is that they offer that man a lot of money to come to what I assume to be the 50 states, one Israel conference that a lot of our representatives from our states went to. Okay. They invited about 5 people from every state to go over there. I don't think that all 5 from every state went, because I looked at like the Texas reps that went, and I think only like 2 or 3 went. 2 or 3 too many, but 2 or 3 went. And he refused. And he wasn't going to stop talking about what's going on. Now, if you're not familiar with this whole Israel Palestine thing, I know people are confused by it because we think of Israel, we think of the tribe of Judah, we think of God, we think of the Bible. But remember, there is a sect of people who call themselves Jews who are not Jews, who are in actuality the synagogue of Satan. And I did a video on this. I broke it all down. What they're trying to do in Palestine is set up I don't want to say New Jerusalem, but they're trying to set up a New Jerusalem. And what's going to happen when they set that up is that they are going to put their leader there. And who is that leader going to be? The leader is going to be the Antichrist. And what's going to happen when they set up shop there is that all this praising and worshiping of God that we do, the real true God, is going to be shut down. And they're going to build up this big idol, this big statue, to where when they play their music and they play their sorceries and their harps and all that kind of stuff, we are supposed to be made to bow down and worship it. And if we do not, off with our heads. They've already bought the guillotines. They talked about this years ago. They already bought the guillotines. So this is what's going on. And I literally just watched like a little 2-minute clip, and they said that Israel is blowing Palestine to pieces. I think over 65,000 people have died already, maybe even more. And they're showing it on TV. They're literally carrying bodies out of these buildings. And they said it's mostly women and children who are dying. But you're not allowed to say, I'm not allowed to say this. No one's allowed to say this. Yeah, you know what? There is a lot of symbolism. This year's episode of America has been saying it seems like something spiritual shifted in America when he died, although I don't think he was a real Christian via biblical beliefs at the very simplest form. And I can agree with you there as far as, because I've said it plenty of times, the Catholic dogma, the Catholic doctrine is not what we read in the Bible. And that is the whole reason why the Protestant movement came about, because they were like, y'all straight away from what Jesus taught. And we're not supposed to do that. Y'all are adding to, y'all are taking away. Yeah, no, we're going to break away from this church, so on and so forth. But even Candace was saying, like, this man was having a spiritual shift. And I don't think it was towards like, I think the spiritual shift was that he was again waking up to what was going on in Israel, and that what he had supported for umpteenth years was a lie. Yeah, I just can't see things like that. I'm still, even when I see the videos pop up and his face pop up, I'm still in disbelief. And they do it on the mainstream like this. They make sure that everybody can see it so that you don't say nothing, so that you close your mouth, or else you know what's going to happen to you. That's why they do it like this. He said no one talks about the symbolism in Kirk's death. You know, I've seen a lot of people say different things. I even saw someone who was showing that Charlie Kirk and George Floyd were born on the same day, or had the same birthday. I don't know if it was the same year, and just different things. But I absolutely, I absolutely believe that number one, it was an inside job. And number two, they're using it. They did that on purpose in order to push their agenda forward. Because again, whether you liked it or not, he was able to change some people's minds just by having dialogue, just by having the debates that he was having. People were changing their minds about abortion. People were changing their mind about, I don't believe in the rhetoric that he was racist. Yeah, you might get mad at the stats that he would bring about that talks about black violence and things like that. But guess what? I watch a lot of black commentary. I watch a lot of black stations on YouTube and stuff. And even they point out the violence that's going on in these cities. And it's unbelievable. You might not like to hear it, but they'll talk about the deaths that happen in just one weekend in places like Chicago and Florida and all that kind of stuff. And so I didn't want to hear it either. But when I look on my TV screen and I see how many people will get gunned down in one night, I mean, you can't be mad at nobody but ourselves. Now, do I think it's just black people? Absolutely not. I see black people act a fool. I see white people act a fool. I live in what they might consider like a little Mexico. I see Hispanic people act a fool. And even though they fly under the radar a lot, I see the so people, like I said, people can get mad at it, but the proof is in the pudding. I feel like I got on a tangent. They used Turning Point to do that to Candace. To do what to Candace? I need just to get some clarification. Yeah, Candace ain't playing right now, and I know I don't know. I see people saying, "Oh, she's controlled opposition and this and that," and poor Candace has decided to take up Catholicism or whatever, and I don't have nothing to say about that tonight. But she got her foot on their necks. Said Kim the King, what do you see? Yeah, good question. Good question. So yeah, Candace said exactly that. They give you an ultimatum or else they destroy your life. Exactly. Like you cannot go against the grain, especially not about this subject. Because ultimately they know that you're going against the Antichrist, and that's who they want to put on the scene. Many of these people are working for him and to bring him onto the scene. And so if you say anything that goes against that agenda, you're out of here. These people love fulfilling that prophecy. They do. And I really want to know what he promised them, to where they made it, to where he made it seem like him coming on the scene was a sweet deal. Like, what did you promise these people? Well, obviously, he probably promised them the world. They're going to be on top. They're going to have all this money. They're going to have minions working for them. I mean, I probably can guess what he promised them. But I guess people forget that there's judgment. Mm. They claim to be victims while they victimize others. Yeah, viciously and ceaselessly. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely sickening. It's absolutely sickening. They the way his wife moving, I feel like she was his handler because she seemed so fake in her grieving and literally took over everything under 72 hours. I wouldn't be surprised if she goes to Israel. I'll be honest, I haven't seen any of her speeches. I haven't seen it. Um, but yeah, I don't think that you could get me to I don't think you can get me out my house to talk about or say anything for a long time if that happened to my husband. Absolutely not. And I'm not saying she's wrong for that, but I just couldn't do it. Um, but I hate to say, I guess we'll see. I think Candace is getting too close. I think she needs to tread lightly. You know, a lot of people would agree with that. And I think she's at the point right now where she's so, and I don't think she's wrong for it, but she's so mad, you know, to where she doesn't feel any fear. Because honestly, people are sick and tired of being pushed around. People are sick and tired of being shut down and told to shut up and just people are sick. People and I saw people say, you know, don't she care about her family, her kids? I think that's why she's doing this because she does care about her family and her kids. And unfortunately, some people are called to blow the trumpet, you know, at the risk of their lives. Because if we don't blow the trumpet, the Bible says that the blood is on our hands. So can't just stay silent, especially when there's so many souls to be saved. Thomas Tyler, the shooter, a Tyler in Freemasonry, guards the lodge when meetings are held and protects the secrets of Freemasonry. 22, the shooter's age, the 22 degree in Scottish Rite Masonry. Yeah, I think they said, yeah. He said, yeah, I was never getting that. Yeah, some crazy stuff. The last name was one of the head investors in Masons 1223. The time he was shot is relevant. Behind him on the tent was two lightning bolt symbolism of sacrificing pagan gods. Ugh, that's so disgusting. Mm. And I didn't watch the last video that she put up where she was saying she was asking who put the camera in his tent right above his head. Like this was a setup. But his friends also acknowledged that Charlie said that they're going to kill him. He's like, they're going to kill me. So, like, he knew what speaking out was gonna do. You might not know where or when. And he did it anyway. Tomas, there's so much more, but your has a word limit. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I've seen a lot of different things about this guy, but yeah, um, Patsy for sure. Charlie Kirk was ripe for sacrifice. It happened in Utah, where the odds is, and the founder was super Masonic. He was a confirmed Mason. Look at the talisman Joseph Smith carried in his can. So sad. So sad. They also use the bee as a sign which represents magic and witchcraft. Did you see the video about him saying he thinks Israel will come? Okay, so I just said that. And I don't, and to be honest, I don't think I heard him say that. Like I said, I think I heard it from his friends, but mm. His death seems very ironic on a cosmic level, even given the fact that it was an inside job. Um, I just think that these people are so deep into witchcraft and they're so in tune with these demons that they know exactly what they need to do to advance their agendas. Because people aren't this clever on their own. But to get, I mean, even to the fact that he die on September, was it September 11th, or it might have been the 10th, but just the way that they line things up with dates and with times and all that kind of stuff, they're like, people aren't doing all that. These demons teach them how to do this stuff. Okay, I saw it performed the day before the anniversary of All Sides. Okay, so yeah, the 10th. I was like, it was coming to my mind, but yeah. And little, I mean, we don't know. I mean, I don't know if y'all know. I don't know. That could have even had some type of symbolism with it, in itself. Folks call anything racist today. He's not racist because he stated statistics. People just don't want to hear and accept the truth. I mean, I agree. That's what I said. I actually think I said that to somebody today. Like, y'all have changed the definition of racism. Guess what? If I was a racist and I really didn't like um somebody, I would not talk to you about the violence in your community. I'd be like, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and kill each other off. And I definitely wouldn't disencourage you from aborting your babies. I would encourage you to do it. I'd be like, girl, go head on. Keep on doing what you're doing. If I was racist. But the biggest racist of them all, who blatantly out her mouth said, I want to exterminate black babies. I commented the other, like, y'all frequent her business like y'all going to Walmart. Not y'all, but y'all go to Margaret Sanger's place of business to exterminate your white babies, your black babies, your Asian babies, and then you want to call somebody, what? You want to call somebody else racist because they tell you that that's what you're doing? No, the racist is the one who's encouraging you to do that. But people are so backwards. People are so backwards. This is what actually, like, this is how their mind actually works. Those stats were misused, given out of context. I'll send you that stuff later. People actually show the stats. He lied regarding blacks. I mean, again, I don't know. I really don't like statistics like that, because again, I don't think you're really getting the whole picture. Because again, most of the time when you're giving us stats and polls, you're definitely not polling the whole world. It's just, you're just getting a little bit of the picture. But those stats aren't coming from him. I can say that. He wasn't the one that made up those stats. And I've even heard black people say those same stats. So are they racist as well? So maybe that was a misstep, but they are killing themselves in these cities. I say they, but black people are killing themselves in these cities in mass numbers. The one thing I will say is Charlie had a lot of pseudo Christians demographic. I can see him being a little hiccup in the bigger scheme of things. Um, mm, I really don't know what to say about that. I don't think he's by himself. I think as soon as you start mixing Catholicism with Christianity, I think it all plays out like that because so many people today, they don't see a difference. They do not know a difference. They don't they don't even know about the catechism and the Marian dogmas and all the different literature books that the Catholic Church has, where it's showing you an absolutely different doctrine. And so uh, we're in a world where everybody sees it as the same. That's all I can say. But but again, people want Christians to think exactly the way that the world does. And if you do not, they see that as bad. And they'll even call they call that pseudo Christianity. If you don't accept the gays, or if you don't accept, just foolishness, just all the way around, they think that you're the pseudo Christian because all they know is, oh, well, God is love. Yeah, he is, but he also judges. He also has a set of rules that he wants us to live by. And there's also consequences for not living by those rules. So Candace is among the initiated. Oh man. I don't I don't think yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Cause I heard someone saying like she's an Eastern Star or something like that. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about her life. I just know that at first she considered herself a Christian and now she claims to have come into knowledge and now she's a Catholic. That's all I know. Hey, it's been a while. Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing? Good to see you. Said it's been a while. I got tea about the aviation industry. I would love to hear it. Please fill us in. And you know what? I'm gonna get off topic for just a second because I believe the last time we spoke, we were talking about Aaliyah. You know that, and he doesn't have to, but Diane Martell, the director, just passed away a couple days ago. And Hype Williams, he posted about her and posted a picture or whatever. But one thing he never ever post about is Aaliyah. He does not have one video. He don't have one picture. He does not say not one thing, not even the anniversary of her passing, not on her birthday, not never. Again, he doesn't have to, but I just find that very interesting. But yes, would love to hear about the aviation industry. And I'm doing all right. Got a few hiccups going on in my life, but I've prayed about it. I'm gonna be all right. Candace and Charlie were grifters at the end of the day. They were just political puppets. I don't. What do you mean by that? I don't know what you mean by that. She was exhibiting symbolism with the whole yay thing. She's been confirmed initiated. Okay. Um, I mean, y'all got to fill me in. I don't watch everything she does, so it's funny because Charlie himself was a type of antichrist on a smaller level. Why do you say that? I mean, that's big. Why do you say that? Is it because of the doctrine that he was following? I've watched the 2 videos of the people inside the building ducking and the people outside ducking after the shot, and the guy on the roof running. The people inside duck before he shoots and runs, and before the people outside duck after the shot. When you play them side by side, you see people go to the ground before you ever see the guy. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I can't watch it. I can't watch it. I did see when Dr. Frank Turk was talking about it because he was standing right there um, when Charlie got shot, and he was saying people were talking about the guy that was standing behind him and how he was throwing up signals before it happened. So I don't know. I'll be honest. I haven't been able to. I haven't been able to watch it. There was 18 plus drones flying that day. There's pics of 3 to 4 in the same frame. Mm-mm. Yeah, see, I couldn't have done that. She popped out of her house, hair done, makeup done, full speech ready, cameras and lights set up in 48 hours. Yeah, I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Right, she was too calm. Mm. He said Charlie isn't dead. He's on the same island as Pac and Aaliyah. Oh, shoot, I wish. I wish I didn't see a man get murdered like that on national TV. I wish when I scroll down my timeline and I see his face that he wasn't gone like that. That is just baffling to me. Because again, I did not agree with everything, but I definitely agree with you not killing off your children. Everyone should read Aries Western Esotericism. It will give you eyes that can see. I see the symbolism everywhere now. Yeah. The LDS church is demonic. I don't care. Real Christians know that Jesus Christ is the only way and reject organized religion. I mean, yeah. I mean, but there's a lot of denominations. There's a lot of them, and they all have their own way. And even though it's little slight variations, they still have their own way. Yep, that's why I just stick to the Bible. Look into the King killed 33 ritual. Charlie was just like Kennedy. They said it took 33 hours to get the shooter. So much symbolism. Ooh, that's nasty word. And Kennedy was one of the ones too. He was speaking out. He started to wake up and started speaking out about stuff that they feel like he shouldn't have spoke out about. And they made sure that he was a public spectacle. Mm-mm. Um, September 10th. Okay. C, uh, CK might be a distraction from the list. Nobody's even talking about that anymore. There's just a few, right? There's people I feel like on the videos that I see, they're like, okay, but what about that list? They're not gonna, man. And even remember how they had a group of women who were victims and they were upset about the list not coming out and they were going to put out their own list of their clients. They're not talking anymore either. And so I'd be inclined to agree with you. I think his death was his it was used for so many different things. That's why I said there's so many their whole agenda, they're working every angle that they can right now, but he was used for a lot of it. For the censorship of the extra censorship that's coming, the fact that you're not allowed to they came out with the bill that says you're not allowed to talk about Israel. I showed y'all that too. Um but yeah, there that list ain't coming out. That true list ain't coming out. 911, sorry, why did I say that? 9/11 has the most symbolism in it than any other event. I could do a 24-hour video on it and not cover one third of everything. I remember when man, when it first happened, there were so many videos exposing stuff, even to the point, remember how they had, I don't know if y'all remember, they had the still shot of the smoke coming from the buildings and it looked like a demon face. I mean, there was so much going on when that happened. It's so much going on. And I think 9 and 11 are a cultic number. I mean, just mm. This year's 9/11 was the first time I never heard recognition for the victims, and it's crazy because it was all about Charlie. Yeah, I noticed that too. I honestly thought they would talk more about 9/11 and all that kind of stuff, but I guess they said we on to bigger and better things. Yeah, they said they did what they needed to do with that. What is really is folks have a problem with admitting what's being stated has truth in it rather than take accountability and make change. They attack what's being said and not the issue being spoken about. Yeah. I mean, but we're at a time where, like I said, people feel like they can't be corrected. And the crazy thing is that they push even harder about it. I'm seeing people tear stuff up when they're not getting their way. Are y'all seeing these videos? They tearing up the Dollar Trees, they're tearing up everything. These grocery stores. If you say one wrong thing, it's just disgusting behavior. This goes hard. I agree. I didn't see or hear a single thing about 9/11 this year. Yep, nope, not a one. Not a one. People can interpret facts differently. It's about what narrative the people want to push. They will then interpret things in a favorable way. Yeah. Yep, pretty much. Um, I mean, people see what they want to see. I think people see what they want to see. No, I'm saying he purposely misread the stats. He literally lied blatantly is 50% exonerated, not arrested and guilty. And they leave out per capita when it comes to black on black violence. I mean, I don't know. It's just all too much for me. White on white violence is the highest percentage wise. Like I said, everybody is dealing in foolishness. Everybody's dealing in foolishness. And so I just don't understand why we're pointing the finger at one another when everybody's in on it. Like every sect has their own types of crimes that I hate to say it, but that they're good at. You know? Mm. The black race has been so corrupted by the democratic agenda to believe that it's okay to call everyone a bigot when that's not the case. Yeah, exactly. Because there are people that actually do not like you. You know what I mean? There's people that will actually go out their way to take you up out of here. And but you have no words for them. Like all these crimes committed in these cities, again, against each other, whether whatever color it is, you're not doing that against the people that actually hate you. And I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying it doesn't happen. But I see that I hear and see that a lot of people are now leaving the Democratic Party because of this. Now, I don't know what the repercussions of that is going to be, but I think a lot of people are noticing like, man, these are some demons. They act they act like they're possessed with evil. They held the hearings on 9/11 for 3 days this past week that disapproved the plane theory. It was a huge event, hundreds of witnesses and photos and evidence for real. I didn't even know that. Especially with the plane, because that was one of the things that, again, they talked about when it first happened. They were like, okay, first of all, the plane that had crashed near the wooded area, there was no debris for it. They were showing that even the Pentagon, it was like a hole, but no place where the blades would have went through the building. Yeah, it was just so many different people that came out with evidence and stuff. I didn't get a chance to capture it when I did the video, um, but I remember at that time they were actually showing where it looked like detonators were going off on each floor. So yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of that stuff has been scrubbed, but some stuff is still there. Exactly. It's so sad. All those people victimized for a psyop. Yeah. And then what was worse is that they had people on campus that were, mocking it as people were mourning and stuff like that. And man, I guess the whole time I was thinking, what's that Kanye verse where he's like, "Do you know what it feels like when people are dying? And people are just acting like it's nothing. Like death is just people are just so desensitized to death these days." Man, oh man. God is love, but he also condemns us for our sins. Yep, amen. I recently became a pilot. Okay, congratulations. And I work at a private charter service as a co-pilot. They did told me the first day on the job if something happens to make sure that the passengers are gone. Wait, what? I don't even know what that means. What do they mean? Make sure the passengers are gone. They told me they didn't want any lawsuits. Mm. Also, a lot of sorry, hold on. Hmm. Also, a lot of these charter companies will purposely get these planes and not update. One of the planes I fly regularly hasn't been checked in almost 2 years or any type of maintenance. Man, what would be the reason? So that they can kill people? Oh, wait, well, wait, well, wait, well, wait. Oh, okay, now, oh my goodness, it just registered to me. They want to make sure that all the passengers die? So that they don't get any lawsuits? Oh my goodness, I hope that's not right. One of my friends who is an ex-operator said that these big creators are compromised and three-letter agencies pull their strings. They paid shills. I mean, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. And when it comes to them super rich clients, they'll try to satisfy them and load the plane all up. And me and my senior are struggling trying to get to point A and point B to have to make stops sometimes. My goodness. Now imagine working for a commercial airline, couldn't even think of all the crooked things they do. To be honest, the only plane I'll feel safe in is in the Airbus. Wow. They get these Boeings for cheap and Cessnas and won't do any maintenance because private charters aren't regulated properly. And see, weren't there a bunch of Boeing whistleblowers that came out and was pretty much talking about that? I think I ain't gonna say that part. But yeah, they were talking about that and showing why they had so many crashes and parts just fall off and stuff like that. That's crazy. Did I see what Shapiro said about Charlie? No, I didn't. I'll be honest, I think I stopped. No, I ain't go. I really stopped paying attention to Ben Shapiro. I did see his interview that he had on the Breakfast Club the other day. And I don't watch them either. But if someone's on there that is giving them the business, I'll definitely check it out. So no, I would like to know what he said though. Probably something ugly, but I don't know. The Senate voted against showing the list. I bet they did because most of them are on it. Most of them are on it. Because why would you be against that when children and all that are being trafficked? I just I'm just so flabbergasted by so much that's going on. You got to be kidding me. I just don't know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Kennedy demanded Israel register their nuke program. He's on record saying he knew Israel was lying to him and he knew they stole materials from the US to make the bombs. He went MIA soon after that. Mm. So pretty much they've known about obviously they've known about Israel for a long time. And they've just been letting them do it because most of the people are in on it. Most of the people in office are in on it. That list will never be made public because politicians are on it. Yep. I mean, shoot, look what they did to Justice Scalia. They don't care who you are, they'll take you out. But it would be way too many of them getting caught up. The it would crash all those politicians that are on it. The system would crash. Oh my goodness. Yep. Yep. They were the very ones on that island. Yep. This is some sick stuff. Everything is racist today, whereas the world basically means nothing, where the word means nothing. Yeah. So my issue isn't point figures, it's Charlie and other purposely sowing seeds of hatred, pride and disdain to more radical prejudices that leaves less room for Christ and the gospel. Um, mm, okay, I mean, what was he supposed to say? If it wasn't to talk about what's going on in the world, what was he supposed to say that wouldn't have caused or from what you say sowed seeds of hatred and pride and disdain? What to me that just sounds like you're not allowed to say nothing at all because somebody will take it the wrong way. Because I never felt hated, and when people and because years ago when I first even heard about Candace, people were mad at her because she was telling people pretty much like, you don't have to be a victim. You don't have to, um, how do I want to word this? Pretty much programs like affirmative action and DEI and things like that. And I don't even think DEI was talked about back in the day, but these almost make you feel like you're nothing and you're not qualified. Like you can never build up the skill. You can never be qualified unless somebody gives you a hand up or a handout. And she was always saying, like, you're smart enough to be able to do these things yourself. Because I'll be honest, if somebody always told me, okay, well, you need this program in order to do this or do that, I would feel less than. I would feel inadequate, especially because, and I probably have said this before, I, I am very, very happy that I went to an HBCU because I got to see black judges and black DAs and black nurses and black, people that were very, very prominent and dominant in their positions. And they weren't always screaming, they weren't always acting like, I didn't even hear them at all acting like victims. And so I don't know what these seeds are. I'll be honest. I don't know what these seeds are. I never felt hated by what he said. I never felt like he was being proud. I never felt that way. I I I do think race is talked about too much, but I hear it coming from both sides. Every time I hear black people complaining, it's always about what the white man doing, and why it's always they're always comparing themselves to white people. And then on the other side, I hear, all the name calling and that's just their culture and they're monkeys. And I hear foolishness from both sides. So I don't know. I don't know. I, I don't know. I don't know. Could he have talked about the gospel more? Okay. But I think that that was ingrained in what he was saying in his debates, though, especially when he was having debates, about taking these children out in the womb. Like, no, we all have value. We have value from the moment of conception, and the reason why we have value is because God, I heard these things being said. and that we shouldn't be looking at like we shouldn't be putting our sexuality in the forefront. You know, we should just be looking at each other for. I don't know. Maybe I heard something different. Maybe I heard something different. Guilt meets conscience. Yeah. Yeah. One of my friends has recordings from 9/11 early that day, like 3 news channels talking about explosions, and then on 9/11 they all talked about planes. Mhm. And there was one video, I tried to find it, but I couldn't find it, but it was a compilation of people saying that, that it was explosion, not planes. And I heard it said that all those people had, like, mysteriously vanished and stuff. So, who knows? He recorded the news that day, so he has a gym. Yeah, listen, those if you have something recorded from back in the day, yeah, you got something valuable on your hands with the VHS tapes and all that, because that will prove that a lot of stuff has been changed. He said, "No one fought with Miss Cozart. She's going to office." I know, right? No, I'm just playing. But no, that's scary that they even just outright told you that. They told me in the event of possible crash to make sure I land where passengers can die. Lawsuits take up to half of any airline's money. Dang. That's some sick stuff right there. Boeing is horrible. I interned there when I started college. Girl, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Mm-mm. I feel like they would be out to get me too if you're not even fixing up my plane or I head out. He said we are going to pick up that bloody mic and carry on the message. Oh no, he didn't. Oh my goodness. I wonder, oh, that is nasty. I wonder if that's what. See, again, I was watching Candace's clips and she was going off and she was saying that one person was talking about stepping in his seat and she was like, "Don't you dare, because I'll put all the receipts out." I wonder if that's who she was talking about. That is disgusting. But I'm not, I'm actually not surprised by. I'm not surprised. That's just disgusting. But he's one of the, he is. Uh, how do I want to say that? He's in Judaism. I'll say that, and he doesn't believe that Christ is king. And so I'm not surprised that this is the stance that he's taking. They still don't admit Israel has nukes today. Trump slipped up recently and snitched on them. But that Trump, man, even more, I'm starting to see his colors. Like, I did not even know that he converted. I mean, I didn't know what his religion was before. I didn't know if he had a religion, but did not know that he considers himself in Judaism now. And the fact that he said that he's going to change the 10 Commandments, what you going to change them to? What do you have to input that's greater than what God had to say? The arrogance. That's just crazy. Yeah, more and more I'm giving him the side eye. Like I told y'all before, I don't know who or what, but I'm starting to give him the side eye even more. Spread hatred. Oh no. Nope. Sounds like CNN. Literally, Charlie is a grifter. That's the point. He grifts for money to appeal to the white standard at which America is based off from a socioeconomic standpoint. Um, I mean, yeah, no, I don't get into. I mean, I don't get into politics like that, but no, I've not seen him grifting for money. I don't know anything about that. I don't. Yeah, I don't get it. Said I'm surprised you guys are misinformed with the political realm of things. What happens with DEI is unqualified people receive positions. Ms. Cozart is a certified pilot who had to do work to become one. You don't want someone flying you just because they're Asian and not qualified. Agreed. White man. DEI isn't about qualifying the unqualified. It's about giving access to overlooked qualified candidates. I don't know. But okay, and I think this was the point that was made as well. Okay, yeah, we get that these people are all qualified in order to be in their positions, but do you want the person that's best for the job, or are we just trying to grab you because you're qualified? Like if I have to go to the hospital and got operated on, I don't want the I don't want you to operate on me just because you're a doctor and you graduated. Like I want the person who's best at the technique that I need in order to save my life. I don't know. And again, this is I don't know. It just seemed like I don't seem like it's begging the people to put you in a position. Like if they don't want you there, then create your own lane. And this was what was also awesome about the school that I went to. The city was literally the university and the surrounding neighborhoods. And do you know who owned all the businesses in that city and those surrounding neighborhoods? Black folk. Mom and pops owned the gas station. Mom and pops owned the Greyhound station. Mom and pops owned all the eateries. So again, I guess I see things a little differently. I guess I see things a little differently. Who cares who he was? Millions of people heard the name Jesus when he proclaimed it. There's tons of videos now talking about how students and people have come to Christ because of Kirk's death. Yeah. And he changed hearts and like I said, he changed hearts and minds. And again, there's a lot of black people who agree with him. So what what's being heard differently from one side to the other? Because we're not all hearing the same thing. Two of the news anchors that reported the explosions were dead within 2 weeks. Yeah, see that type of stuff. If Charlie's doctrine and understanding of Christ was piss poor and a garbage and understanding there's no actual way millions will follow the true Christ if Charlie preached a false one. If that was the case, then the Bible would warn people of the false Christ and the false gospel, if at the end of the day people can still find Christ from false doctrine. Mm. DEI really stands for deport all illegals. Oh my goodness. The stats are already in for years of DEI. There's many examples of people obtaining positions and not being able to perform. Peer research did a good study on it. Qualified means they are the best for the job. That's what qualified means. Once again, it's about accessibility to these jobs. Performance is already met. That's the issue. Mm, I would have guessed Jews. You said, I can tell based on your talking points, you speaking from an elitist point of view that blinds you from seeing the racial aspect and ceiling some folks in less opportunity areas have. I'm elitist? Listen, if that's what you want to call it, I just don't have a victim mentality. I just don't have a victim mentality. I see people thriving of all colors. And it's not my fault that you don't see that. I don't know who you have around you in your circle that those aren't your examples. I don't know what to tell you. My grandmother was a custodial engineer. She was a janitor at a school, and she did that until she retired. Never heard her complaining about what opportunities she didn't get. She had 8 kids, and she fed and clothed them by herself. Never heard her complaining. Matter of fact, I hate to even bring it up because she's nobody to look up to. But even I just saw an interview with Cardi B. She was just talking. She said, "You know what? I saw my grandma work like this to make money to provide for our family to do this. I saw my mom do the same thing she made a way in order for us to provide." So she said, "How can I talk about being tired or this and that when I have 4 mouths to feed?" Like I'm not going to. If there I don't know what to say. You can get education from anywhere. You don't even have to go to a university. You don't even have to go to a junior college. Like there's people that literally do not have an education, but they have a skill. All these illegals that are being deported and all that other stuff. And, again, I see them working on some of the most gorgeous houses. I bet if I walked up to them and said, "Hey, where'd you go to school at?" I bet they didn't go to school. And I hate to say that, I bet they didn't. But somehow, some way, they they got a skill under their belt. and they got work to do every day. Like I just don't. I just not. I just maybe that's elitist, but I do not have the capability to sit around and feel sorry for myself. And I'm not always in the best positions. I'm the last person who's ever in a best position. But I'm gonna make a way. Black folks did better pre-70s. They had higher rates of successful marriages among all, the income that was higher versus today. Exactly. They sure were. And now some kind of way. And that was during Jim Crow era. So what are we doing now that we don't have that same story? Yeah, I'm just not gonna do it. Should be paying all our taxes now. Yeah, no. Drop the link to the stats. Again, I don't get into statistics. The Republican talking points to pull yourself up by your bootstraps with love epiphany. We need to set up a session where I can drop some knowledge, actual stats for you to understand. Why is that a bad thing to say? I don't I you gotta break that down to me. Why? Yeah, we'll set up a session. Why is that a bad thing to say? Like there's a lot of people that's always looking for handouts. Now I'm not saying that you can't get help because again, I am the last person. I get help all the time. And yes, I am thankful that I can get help. But there's a lot of people that have done it. And so guess what? Instead of sitting down with those people to figure out how they did it, people would rather whine and complain. What do people, not all people, right? But some people who grew up in the hood, what do? When they get tired of the lifestyle, when they get tired of the poverty, when they get tired of the violence, what do? They get some education under their belt and they move the hell up out of there because they know that that environment is dragging them down. They know that when you are around like like-minded people like that, or you know, they, they know that you get dragged down too. So they get up out of there and they go sit around people that they want to be like. When I wanted to do well in my business, when I had it, when I had to, go off to different, by myself to these meetings and stuff like that, I didn't go sit and hang out with the people who were on my level. I went and sat and ate lunch with the people who were doing well in the business. And I asked them questions and say, hey, how did you do that? How did did you ever fall on your ass? Did you ever end up flat broke? Yeah, oh hell yeah. I end up Most people will tell you, especially the ones that are successful at business, they'll tell you that they have been broke plenty of times in their life before they ever got to success. And I'm sorry, I'm one of those people that I do not mind. I'm not gonna say I don't mind, but I do mind being broke. But sometimes I have to understand, you know what? I gotta start all the way over. I gotta start all the way over. And I gotta take into account the stuff that I failed at and why I failed and try to make some changes and do better. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with working someone for life. I have plenty of buddies that have done the same job for decades. It's newer thing to bounce around a lot of places. Yeah. You said yourself that you're not in tune with politics. Let me teach you something. You can teach me what you feel like you need to teach me, but it's not going to change my mind. Because again, I'm gonna look out and say, okay, they did it. Well, why not me? What do they have that I don't have? Libraries are public. You need some information. I don't know. I don't know. Nope, wants to dye your hair blue. Can be me. I don't again, see, I don't get into this whole Republican. I don't get into boxes like that. I just believe what I believe. I see what I see. I believe what I believe. So if Republicans are talking like this, then so be it. If the Democrats are talking like this, so be it. I'm not in a box. If I had to go and vote today, I'd be independent. And I would go and I would vote for the person who aligned with some policies that I wanted to see. So I don't know what these Republican talking points are because they might be anecdotal examples. I'm just telling you why I will never have the mindset that you want me to have about this stuff. Trade to make more money. My brother started 110K at 20 as a plumber. Yeah. Mm-mm. Well, there's been a breakdown of the family across all people since then. Yeah. But that's what they want. I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, even like all the agendas that I've read into, they all want the same thing. They all want the breakdown of the nuclear family. And, and that's where it starts. People are trying to find themselves after that, after their family breaks apart. And again, some people use it as a motivator and some people use it as a hindrance. You said if you don't get into stats, then you're speaking out of ignorance and anecdotal examples. For someone who does research and usually unbiased and understanding, you are being very biased and sounding bad. You say so. Again, stats do not get a capture on the whole world, and that is the reason why I said I don't get into stats. But I bet you're going to probably tell me, oh, there's again. If there's a system built to hold you back, whether that's true or that's false, then you have to explain how certain people of your color, uh, from your neighborhood, from your ilk, have gotten into those positions. Because not everybody's a Mason, not everybody's, all that. Not everybody's into all that stuff. Some people get in there just by hard work, developing skills and hard work. And if people don't open the door for them, they go and open the door for themselves. Handouts are why we don't even touch the interest on our national debt every year. That and massive spending are one of the countries with the most safety nets, yet folks always crying out here. Hmm. He said, I hope I don't sound rough, spicy, maybe, but more challenging your beliefs than actually meaning to be rude. Mm, I mean, I'm thick skinned. I just, yeah, I just don't, yeah. There's more people living paycheck to paycheck today. Yep. Comes down to laziness. There's no excuse today. There's so many resources one can tap to. Bro, he said, bro, epiphany. If I literally give you proof, pure truth and facts, you will stand on being wrong. Your pride is showing. Give me. I want you to give me this. How are you gonna? How are you gonna give me truth and facts on people deciding whether to? I don't. I don't. What would you give me truth and facts on? What would you give me truth and facts on? The parties are one and the same. There's no difference. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't even. That's why I don't even get into it. That's why I don't even get into it. The Lord said He gives us the power to get wealth. The Lord gives us power to get wealth, but yet we're trying to give that power to some. We're trying to. We're trying to say that that power is in somebody else's hands. I didn't ask you to have the mindset. I'm adding context to the general fudged up statements you and Kim have been giving or on disingenuous on purpose. Again, bring the facts. Bring the facts. Whatever that's supposed to be. I can always tell people who had absent fathers from those who had fathers. We're talking about the whole world. We are talking about the US specifically. You're being difficult on no, I'm trying to understand where your mindset is coming from. Because I do not get the reasoning. I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of someone who is literally maybe in the projects, doesn't have a lot of food, doesn't have a lot of money. What I don't know. I don't. I'll just let you tell me. How about that? I'll let you tell me. You're referring to outliers in or in regards to the small amount who make it. Uh, Again, like a small amount of people who make it. Folks about who bitch about this place have never seen other places. We are the most privileged nation on the planet. Yeah. And it's so crazy because Africans will tell you that they hate us because they're like, y'all bitch and complain about everything and y'all don't know what it's like. And they always make fun. They say that they come out here and come over here and outwork us. And so that's what I'm saying. Some people will say, okay, I grew up with a hard life. And so what can I do to not have that going forward? And I feel like you're trying to tell me that in for majority of the people, there is no way to move forward. And you make yourself know that outliers don't make up the majority in said situation. What epiphany woke up today? And you yourself know that outliers don't make up the majority of said situation. Again, I'm trying to figure out where you are coming from. If you heard my tone, that might have helped instead of reading the words off cold screen, maybe. It's a gimmick. The small folk have no say in government. If you've ever been to DC and spent time on Capitol Hill, you're aware corporations and businesses write bills. I can tell too, Cam. Well, playing a Discord. Shoot, I'm afraid to get on Discord. They be over there doing funny stuff. But okay. But part of the issue is what you just said. It's not mindset. That's the first problem. Okay, so it's not mindset. So are you okay? It's not mindset. I'm talking about the US. There isn't any point to speak globally when I'm here. Africans are brutal. I had a best friend who was in high school and he always spoke about how easy people have it here versus him walking 12 miles to school and 4 to get water in his village. He clowned everyone. Yeah, they like to clown. They like to clown. My old distributor, he was from Nigeria. And that's pretty much all he talked about. And how he came over here and ended up getting kicked out of school, end up having to sleep on people's floors and stuff until he found the place that we worked at, and he just built from there. But he was hungry, like literally hungry. Privileged place doesn't mean said privileged place doesn't have a systematic button line as which it profits off the detriment of said bottom line in modern capitalism. No, just a small call, just me and you. I mean, others can join. You have full jurisdiction and control of said Discord call. Yeah, I guess. But I forget, did you hear about the singer David and the dead body girl? Yeah, I'm a little confused on that. I only saw one video and I kind of got off of it because they were showing a picture of what was supposed to be her hand and it looked like a man's hand. And so I got confused and I just didn't touch the topic again. But I don't even know who this guy is. Have y'all ever heard of David before? Because I didn't. I don't know any of his music. But they said that apparently he has a song where he talked about killing her. And then she ended up in the same way that he talked about. But that her parents had approved of relationship with her and him. And see, these parents be, I don't know what these parents be thinking. I don't know what these parents be thinking. Like, I don't know if they, I hate to say it, but I don't know if it was like an Aaliyah situation where they sold her off to this man because they were like, okay, he's big and he got money, he could, help her out like that. But people hate to say it, but sometimes these girls be fast. And they always try to, and I'm not taking the onus off of him because he wrong, because he grown. But you as a woman, you also know that he's grown. So why are you even talking to him? And so it just sounds like a very, very sketchy situation. Very, 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 very weird situation. But then they also said she was what, like 13 or something like that when they first started talking. And then they're saying that he's not even a person of interest. So what is, I'm so confused. I ain't gonna lie, I had to get off of it because I got confused on what's going around, on what's going on. They're also into a lot of witchcraft. He used to carry around his small leather deal that he believed carried spirits that would aid him in school. Ugh, that's and I hate to say it, but a lot of these male witches, these warlocks, a lot of them are tasked to be angels of death. Like I really haven't heard of them having any other jobs in the I don't even know what you would call it in witchcraft, but to take lives. They're always sent into hospitals to do it, or they're sent into schools or whatever. So, I, I, honestly, I don't know why. I just be staying away from people that say that they practice witchcraft because you never know. You never know. Yeah, I don't know him. He said not really one snippet before. Yeah, I never heard of this guy. Also, black followers are the most active in homes versus other races, despite the false information people spout. Yeah, and more white people are on welfare. I mean, there's a lot of disinformation. I think the problem becomes when the people that are doing wrong are magnified. Because I'll say, for instance, like these rappers, right? You got these rappers like you got the Nick Cannons and the Futures and the Offsets out there who literally just baby daddies. I know Offset got married, but he was a proud baby daddy. And so they see these big names and they think that that's everybody in the black community or, the men. But it's so crazy because when I think of when I think of like deadbeats, I don't the first person I think of, I don't even think of like Offset or anybody. Like I think of Tom Cruise. I think of Tom Cruise. I'm like, that's a deadbeat right there. So again, I said this before, but there's foolishness going on everywhere. There was an event where I live this week where a Creole man attacked four people. He told the news that spirits demanded he do it, and they made him out to be crazy. I said, "Shoot, man, probably saw him." Yeah, man, it's getting crazy out there. Because listen, there can't be that much of this killing without these people hearing these demons and then being told what to do. I just don't believe it. And they're getting so brazen. Like I saw a clip today where this lady was walking down the street, car pulls up. I guess she knew who they were or something because as soon as she saw them, she took off running. And he got out and fired like 10 shots. And this is in broad daylight. I think they said it was like 6:30 or some 8:30, something like that in the morning. Busy street, just shooting at her. And she's just running and ducking, running and ducking. Like these demons don't care anymore. Not that they ever did, but ah, we gotta stay safe. I never buy music today because the heavy occult symbolism and references. Yeah, you really got to sift through what's out there because things that you think are harmless, even when even when I did that Taylor Swift video for Patreon, I don't listen to Taylor Swift music like that. I mean, I do know some of her singles, but she's got a song called "The Invisible String," and even that is an occultic reference. I'm like, man, you can't. You just think that they're singing a nice lullaby, but nope, nope. In his interview, he said he made a deal with them dudes. Body language was wild when he spoke. Ugh. I bet he did. I bet he did. These people don't know any better because they think it's all a game. They think witchcraft isn't real. They think that demons aren't real. Christian rappers speak about selling drugs, guns, and whores for real. Yeah, I don't even listen to them at all. Especially, I mean, I guess the only one I can think about, the prominent one was Lecrae, and I heard his music. I was like, nah, this ain't Christian. If I need gospel, I try to listen to some old school, old school. But why would they even be talking about that? I mean, unless you're talking about repenting from it, you know? Mm-mm. He said, no, that stat data still follows 2024. I mean, I don't know, but I know they said that they have this new rule. I don't know if it's everywhere. It might have just been in the particular state that I was reading about, but they were making it so if you got a divorce and you had children, then it automatically goes to 50-50 custody of the child. And that they were finding out that most of their divorce rates were going down after the bill was passed. And so, of course, there were people upset, like, oh, you're supposed to just stay in an abusive marriage. It's like, no, you can still get a divorce. You just gonna have to have 50-50 custody. But a lot of people don't want that. I'm gonna say a lot of people. I'm gonna say a lot of women don't want that. They use that baby as a meal ticket. And I hear them brag so much. Well, he just because I didn't want to be with him anymore. So what was the reason why you didn't want to be with him no more? And why do y'all always decide that after the baby comes? But whatever. Not if you're referencing the CDC. Nope. was a 2013 study, and there was only a 10% difference in black and whites, but Hispanics were 45%, so they were the lowest. Mm. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Stop having these babies, and you don't want them. Oh, okay. So lowest meant that like they they're not in their children's lives. Yeah, I'm surprised by that as well. That's literally not true. I don't know. I don't know. I was one of maybe three people I knew who had a father in their home. I mean, you can definitely see some things. I don't know if it's because I don't know. I don't know what the reason would be. He said people just hate facts. I don't know. Nope. Maybe a different CDC or a different Google. Mm, I don't know. Y'all clowning now. No, you got the CCD for that. I don't know, but the agenda is to break up the nuclear family, and people are buying into the agenda. That's all I know. But unfortunately, a lot of people also bought into what did Marcus Singer call it? The free sex movement. And so they felt like they could have sex without consequences. Maybe because they felt like the birth control was going to be there. I don't know. But hopefully they'll get things on track, at least for the a little bit of time that we have. Oh gosh, okay. Hold on, let me pull it up. Let me get my spectacles. Mhm. Let's see. On parent homes. Okay. My internet. Okay, y'all, but I'm gonna look this up. He said it was a 2013 study from 2006 to 2010. Black fathers were 70% and whites 60% and Hispanics 45%. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, I will look this up and I will post it. Um, but I ain't gonna hold y'all too long tonight. Because like I said, I just wanted to check in. So I'll look that up, I'll post it. But I'm gonna go back to getting this video together so that I can get it ready to hopefully be put out either t- tonight or tomorrow. Okay. So I will holler at y'all. If I don't talk to you soon, have a good week. But I'll try to post some stuff here soon. All right. Okie dokie. Y'all have a good night.